there's a part of you that is still living in the jungle. And no matter how modern your life looks, how digital, rational, or civilized, you're still carrying fears that are older than time. Carl Jung called them archetypal forces, unconscious blueprints passed down through generations, and the truth is, they're still shaping your decisions, your reactions, your relationships, and your dreams, without you even realizing it. In today's video, we're diving into the primitive fears that still control your daily life, through the eyes of Carl Jung's profound psychological theories, and with the help of timeless philosophical wisdom. Stay with me to the end, because once you see these invisible forces for what they are, you can begin to take your power back, and most importantly, you'll finally understand why you're stuck, anxious, or repeating the same cycles. If you've ever wondered why you sabotage your own success, why you fear the unknown, or why you can't seem to change even when you want to, this might be the most important message you hear this year. 1. The ancient mind within, beneath your polished routines and daily responsibilities, lives an ancient mind. Jung believed that our unconscious is not a blank slate at birth. It is a repository of millions of years of evolutionary memory. He called this the collective unconscious, a part of the psyche that contains inherited instincts and images, called archetypes. These archetypes are universal and timeless. Symbols like the mother, the warrior, the trickster, the shadow. They live inside all of us, regardless of culture or time. Primitive fears, like the fear of the dark, the fear of being alone, the fear of loud noises, and the fear of the unknown, originated in our ancestors as survival tools. These fears once helped our species avoid predators, danger, or being cast out by the tribe. But today, those same instincts often misfire in a world that no longer matches the environment they evolved in. Now, that panic before a public speech, that's the fear of exile. That overreaction to criticism, it's the ancient terror of social death. The philosopher Plato believed the soul remembers truths from before birth. Jung might say something similar, that our psyche remembers fears from before we were born. These are not personal fears. They are transpersonal energies, and they operate beneath the surface. The more unaware you are of them, the more they steer your life without your permission. 2. The shadow self. One of the most powerful of Jung's ideas is the shadow, the part of yourself that you reject, repress, or deny. It's the dark mirror of your identity, your aggression, your shame, your envy, your lust, your insecurity. But here's the paradox. The more you push these parts away, the more they influence your life from the shadows. Think about this. Have you ever lashed out at someone and then immediately felt confused by your own reaction? Or have you ever hated someone for being loud, only to realize deep down that you envy their confidence? That's your shadow at work. And Jung warned us, what you resist not only persists, but grows stronger. When you bury your shadow, it becomes a primitive force of fear and chaos, showing up in your dreams, your projections, your triggers. Social anxiety, fear of judgment, perfectionism, they're not always caused by external pressure. Often they stem from the fear that our repressed selves will be exposed. We fear our own shadow. Ancient humans feared being cast out from the group because exile meant death. That same fear still lives in us today, except now it wears the mask of imposter syndrome, fear of public speaking, or social media anxiety. Jung taught that to become whole we must integrate the shadow, not destroy it. This is echoed by Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. We don't escape fear by running from it. We transcend it by understanding it. 3. Fear of chaos and loss of control. We live in a world obsessed with control. Apps to track our habits, calendars to manage every hour, routines that promise safety. But deep beneath that structure lies a fear that is older than logic, the fear of chaos. To ancient humans, chaos meant disaster, storms, predators, starvation. So we developed a deep psychological resistance to anything unpredictable. Today, that fear manifests in subtle but powerful ways. It's the panic you feel when plans change suddenly, the anger when life doesn't follow your script, the despair when you can't control how others see you. Jung believed that this resistance to chaos prevents us from truly growing. In alchemical symbolism, which Jung studied extensively, transformation only happens when the old self dissolves into darkness before being reborn. This is why we fear quitting a job we hate, leaving a toxic relationship, or trying something new. It's not just discomfort, it's existential terror. Chaos feels like death. But ironically, chaos is where creation begins. As the Tao Te Ching says, out of chaos the world is born. Ancient philosophies, from Taoism to Hermeticism, agree. True transformation is not orderly. It is messy, wild, and uncomfortable. So instead of fighting chaos, what if we embraced it? Jung argued that individuation, becoming your true self, requires entering the unknown. The more we lean into the void, the more we discover what's truly inside us. 4. Fear of death and ego loss. At the deepest level of the human psyche lies the fear of death, not just physical death, but the death of the ego. The part of you that fears change, judgment, failure, loss. It's all rooted in the fear that something about you will be destroyed. Carl Jung believed that most neuroses stem from the ego's refusal to die. We cling to identities, roles, beliefs, not because they serve us, but because they give us a sense of permanence. But the truth is, all personal growth requires the death of the old self. Just like nature sheds its skin every season, we too must die many small deaths to evolve. This fear manifests in everyday life. Think of the fear of being alone, not just physically, but emotionally. It's the fear of the self being seen without distraction, or the fear of failing publicly. That's not about failure, it's about ego collapse. Even grief, Jung noted, is not only sorrow for the other, but sorrow for the part of you that is now gone. Across traditions, Buddhism, Egyptian mysticism, Christian mysticism, death is not the end, but the threshold. In Jung's interpretation of alchemy, this was the Negredo stage, the blackening, where the old self dies in darkness. Only then can true gold be formed. This is not a metaphor, it's a psychological truth. Your fears are not obstacles. They are invitations to let go, to die to who you were, and be reborn. 5. Liberation through consciousness. So how do we begin to free ourselves from these ancient fears? The first step is awareness. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Fear only controls us when it operates in the dark. But once you see it, once you name it, it begins to lose power. The shadow cannot thrive in the light. This doesn't mean eliminating fear, it means integrating it. Let the fear speak, but don't obey it. Observe your reactions. Ask, where does this come from? Is it a real threat, or an echo from thousands of years ago. In doing so, you begin what Jung called individuation, the sacred process of becoming whole. The philosophers of the East and West have always agreed, self-knowledge is the path to freedom. The Oracle of Delphi said, "Know thyself, and in knowing your fears, you reclaim your power." You no longer run from your past, you evolve beyond it. Closing thoughts. Here's the truth. You're not weak because you're afraid. You're human, and within that humanity lies a timeless journey, one that Jung, the mystics, and the philosophers all pointed toward. Your fears aren't flaws, they're maps, and when read with awareness, they lead you back to the deepest parts of who you really are. If this message struck a chord, I invite you to reflect, what fear is silently ruling your life right now, and what truth might be waiting behind it? Thank you for watching. If you found value in this journey, please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's also searching for something deeper. More videos exploring the unseen depths of psychology, philosophy, and the soul are on the way. Until then, keep facing the shadows. That's where the light comes in.